So we're going to jump back into Peter Sewell's evidence to the Post Office Horizon IT inquiry, and upon the discovery of this issue, they decided to launch this big investigation, but following the meeting, it's quickly brought to a close and said, we can't do that, it's just not worth it for us, but we should do these checks, some of which Peter Sewell is put in charge of, although he does claim that he wasn't actually in charge of it. So there's further discussion about how they can resolve this issue, and the highlighted problems that there are issues which are going to need changing, certainly if they're not fixed in Legacy Horizon, that they need fixing in Horizon Online, which is in development, to take away from this laborious process, which they currently have to do manually, to try to establish whether there are any relevant errors in the systems which could affect the accuracy of ARQ data and witness statements that are being provided to Post Office. So at the moment they are suspended, but they are seeing that there is a need to actually restart them because the cases and the requests are presumably piling up from the Post Office at this stage. But it becomes quite quickly that no one at Fujitsu wants to take responsibility for these error checks. So first they drop off to the radar, then they are raised by somebody to Peter Sewell in his team saying, are you guys handling this, the other error checks that we've asked for? He then suggests that it needs to go to someone else. Gareth Jenkins says he doesn't want anything to do with it and it should be with the SSC. And essentially they then agree to do a favour, what they call a cap in hand jobby for them, and basically informally help them, but as a very low priority. So why does no one want to take responsibility for this vital activity that ensures the integrity of both the Horizon system and the audit data? Let's jump into the inquiry.
Can we please look at FUJ 001555268? An email from Gareth Jenkins to yourself, 8th of October. He says, Pete, I'm not sure I'm the best person to be checking through the ARQ events for Penny. I think it would be better if you arrange with Mick for SSC to do this as part of their normal activities. Presumably, they were doing this while I was on leave, but now that I'm back, Stephen has started sending them back to me. I'm happy to advise on specific questions, but I think SSC have a better detailed knowledge of what causes these events and what are known to be benign than I have. They also have processes in place to cover for leave, etc. It certainly seems, as at the 8th of October 2008, that Gareth Jenkins saw you as the person who was responsible for coordinating, who was carrying out various checks.
I'm not sure that's true. I'm not sure I'm the person, but I think he's going through me because I can then go back to SSC and maybe change it.
So he saw you as what? Postbox, coordinator?
Well, manager of Penny, who was actually managing the check-in, yes.
So that would put you in charge then, wouldn't it? If you're managing Penny and she's managing the check-in, he's saying, you can't send this stuff to me, you need to deal with it at the SSC level. I thought their team was part of it, but in any case, he's kind of batting that back to them, isn't he, saying, this is for you to deal with.
It says, I think it would be better if you arranged with Mick for SSC to do this.
Yes.
The suggestion being that you were doing the arranging. Is that not right?
Yeah, suggests it, yes.
Pardon?
Suggests it, yes.
Sorry?
Yes, it suggests that I was managing Penny.
And is that right or wrong?
Well, I think...
No, it doesn't suggest that you were managing Penny. The question was about the second paragraph, and it was, I think it would be better if you arranged with Mick for SSC to do this. It reads as though you were the one who was coordinating the response. Were you coordinating or weren't you coordinating?
Don't remember.
It seems a little funny there. It seems like we've gone from that's not what it's saying to, oh, you put into me that's exactly what it's saying, so now I don't remember. I mean, you either remember not being in charge or being in charge, but you can't remember it 1 second and then surely not remember it the next.
Gareth Jenkins is distinguished engineer. We've seen provided witness statements in proceedings. He is saying there that the SSC have a better detailed knowledge of what causes these events and what are known to be benign than he has. Did that cause you any concern at all?
Not concern. I think he's probably valid in the fact that he was busy doing other things and the SSC had more of a more influence on what they could check.
But he says there that they have a better detailed knowledge of what causes the events.
Well,
the suggestion being that he wasn't up to speed in some way as to what caused the events.
Well, that's what he's saying. So the SSC were very technical. And,
More technical than Mr. Jenkins?
that's a difficult question.
Do you want to try and answer it?
No.
No? No. Okay. FUJ 001555270.
Surely no one could have been more technical than Mr. Jenkins, because he was put forward as the expert to give testimony to the post office on behalf of Fujitsu.
We have here 10th of October 2008, Anne Chambers, Gareth Jenkins and Penny Thomas. She says, although Mick's line is very strongly that SSC should have no formal responsibility for checking events connected with ARQs, in the short term he's happy for me to help with this on an informal basis, as I have been doing already. This may have to stop as SSC involvement with HNGX, that's Horizon Online, increases and will always be a low priority. Penny Thomas then emails you and says a cap-in-hand jobby. Can you assist us with what this might mean?
Well, we needed help for the analysation of the events, and Anne Chambers would be the ideal person.
And you, I think your evidence was that you weren't coordinating this particular process. It seemed to be emailed by Penny Thomas forwarding that email. Did Penny Thomas not think that you were the person who was coordinating the response?
I don't know what that means, cap-in-hand jobby.
No.
Potentially that you're going cap in hand to someone else and they're doing you a favour, perhaps?
Why do you think people didn't want this responsibility, didn't want to be carrying out this task? We've heard Gareth Jenkins not wanting to do it. We've now heard Anne Chambers happy to do it on an informal basis in the short term. Why do you think people were reluctant to get involved in that process?
Well, the only thing I could say is they're all quite busy with other things.
Surely, though, questions about the fundamental integrity of a system where you're taking people to court on that basis is something which needs to be high priority for somebody somewhere.
And it required a technical knowledge to go through the events to look for this.
Do you recall any concerns you had about the inability to have sufficient people checking what seemed like quite a serious matter?
Well, I think we found the appropriate people, and they did the job.
Can we please look at FUJ 001555271, please? We're now moving to a proposed technical solution. So we have all these people carrying out checks that we've had a look at, but we're now moving on to a change proposal, a formal change proposal. Did you understand what a change proposal was?
Yes, I did.
Can you briefly explain to us what that might be, a change proposal?
When the project decided it would be a change to the way the things were being done, it would formally be done via a change proposal which specified what the action was and why it was being done.
We have the email from Alan Holmes to yourself and others. Gents, as discussed last week, I've put the attached together as a proposed Horizon Online change proposal to handle the processing of counter events within audit. Any initial comments? Do you recall that the plan was for Horizon Online to automate the process that was being undertaken?
In time, yes.
Yes.
Yes.